Hello, everyone. Welcome back for the Game Ball Pod News Hour. Sorry for the little bit of a delay here. Game Ball Cat decided to get herself stuck in my closet that's right to the left of the door here, and instead of helping me help her, all I heard was different levels of meowing until I finally got her and got her out. So, Game Ball Cat is fine. She just has a dumb thing that she sees a box that's like half open in there, tries to jump in it, and can't get out. Happens at least 3 times a week. I don't know what she's looking for in there, because once she gets in there, she does nothing. Then starts crying because she can't get out. So, anyway, thank you guys for joining me. So we're back again. It's been another week. Going through some video game stuff, and had some, for those of you to follow and all the podcasts that I'm on. High school softball season's over. My niece's team lost in the second round of the playoffs. Lost by 1, but she did hit 2 really, really deep balls that probably would have been home runs in any other field, but this field has like the green monster equivalent of cyclone fence out in left field. And it's also I think like almost 250 to like the entire fence, when usually at high school it's like 2 and 225 somewhere in there. But yeah, I think that left field fence might be 2 something, and it's like at least 20 feet high or 30 feet high. Unfortunate. But now we got travel ball season starts next weekend. So yay! So that'll be just some house cleaning. There might be one Saturday where I won't be able to do the Persona stream because we'll be like an hour and a half away from here, and we're just going to stay overnight instead of driving 4.5 hours, or I guess technically it would be 6 hours, 3 hours each day for it. So, some house cleaning I just thought of. Anyway, let's get into what I've been playing. So, as usual, been playing through, the games we play on stream here. Persona 3, getting so good. I'm probably going to be very much deeper into it by the time you listen to this podcast, if you listen to it on Monday and not watching live here on Twitch. If you're not watching live on Twitch, why aren't you? Friday night, usually 9 p.m. Tonight it was 9:07. Where you can interact with me in the chat. If you have questions, you want to correct me on things. We can have a discussion about the news. We've had some good ones the last couple weeks. We'll have another good one when we get to the news here, because the industry just keeps shitting the bed in every way possible. So I actually think there's 2 stories. That might be a little long this week. But, we're doing 8 hours of Persona on Saturday. So we might be, chopping into getting towards the final act of that game by the time you hear this. So I'm enjoying it. I think what I've said in the past, and I still think this is true of the game, is that it is very much, you can tell how much it's the first attempt at this. Like, for Reload, they've improved a lot of quality of life stuff, because I went back and I played a little bit of the PS2 version on my perfectly legal PlayStation 2. Some of the quality of life stuff that they learned from Persona 4 and Persona 5, they have brought into this game. But you can tell just from the story-wise and the way they handle the social links and things like that. This is very much first attempt at this. And they, get their bearings in 4, and then they just do everything almost correctly in 5. In terms of, storylines and not anything confusing and getting translation stuff right. I hope it's bad translation for things. But I'm loving it so far because it's more Persona, but you can very much see where it just wasn't 100% what they have become here. It does make me more excited about a Persona 6, though. Seeing that I'm enjoying this game so much, that it's like, alright, anything they do, short of just it being another Persona game, is going to be absolutely fine. Yeah. Since I'm not reading anything technically, the green screen's messing up something on my glasses. I'm just going to take these off. Hey, it's Big Mark without glasses. Just so we can stop getting the green screen to freak out. Yeah, but the one thing I do have to talk about, me and Jonathan had a moment on the podcast where I was so glad there was somebody else around watching. So, if you've played Persona 3, or you've watched me play through it, I don't know if this part is up on YouTube yet. It might be up today. So we finished the social link for, I believe it's Maiko, is how you say her name. Which is a little girl. She's about 8 or 9. Like, I guess somewhere between 6 and 9, we'll say. And I did not mean that to be that number, but it's obviously an early elementary school child that you're dealing with here. And that becomes very important when I tell you what they did. So, I don't care if I'm spoiling this storyline, because maybe you don't want to go through this full storyline if this gives you the ick. But they basically insinuate, you know, not even in the cute way, where when kids don't understand what words mean and they're like to their cousins, like, marry me, even though the cousin's like 30 or 40. They don't understand what marriage means or any of that, sexualizing any of that. But the reason why it was like slightly cringeworthy, well, probably more than cringeworthy here, is that A, they had her blushing, which shows understandings of the emotional aspect of asking my character if they're going to get married in the future. They give you no option to say no to her. And then they show an off-screen kiss on the cheek, which can be interpreted as anything. It's really bad. There was a way to do that, where you could have had her say, hey, I had a lot of fun hanging out with you. We should get married one day. And then I go, no, you're way too young for me, but, I'll always be here, value your friendship. If you ever need advice, I can be like a big brother to you. Clean off, she can laugh, go, I didn't really mean it, and you don't have the embarrassing part. I should have seen it coming for 2 reasons. One was brought up by Jonathan, which was that the devs had said that every social link is a romantic social link. And I don't know if they meant just for the female characters or for the male characters too. But that makes this one extra creepy. And also, the trouble that you're in with the older couple, if it's all of the social links. And yeah, that made it 100% cringe, for sure. To use a word that my age probably shouldn't be using, but that's very much what I felt. But there's also a scene where she asks to hold your hand. While it can be innocent, when put together with everything else, very uncomfortable. Very glad we're done with that through moment. Has me worried for some other things, but glad we're done with that. So we finished that off. We ended up with we got the 10th level of another social link, which is kind of grooming a little bit. I don't know. You can interpret it any way you like. With President Tanaka, but still a terrible person. But he gets me level 10 in the Devil Persona. So, but yeah, we had a very complicated Saturday stream on Persona, and hopefully you guys have caught up or watched that live. But yeah, we're going to push through for 8 hours tomorrow if you're watching this live. So you're going to have some big videos coming up this week for those of you that follow along on YouTube. Yeah, and it leads us to... I think it'll be easier to just... I explained this earlier tonight before I streamed Hades. what my plan is for that in the Sunday stream, but I'll reiterate it here for you, for people that might not watch the streams and just listen to the podcast. Um, while it's in our early access, I'm going to play that game when I feel like playing it, off stream, on stream. So there's not going to be consistency. You're going to miss stuff in the story. I might catch you up if you want to know. I'll put them in on YouTube, but I will put warnings on the description, like, hey, this has jumped around in the story. I've done a bunch of runs between the last two YouTube videos, so watch at your own risk. But the goal is that once it goes 1.0, we're going to start a new save from scratch and just see what they changed in all of that, going to 1.0 and doing it from the beginning. That will be our Let's Play. So maybe I'll do 2 different playlists. I think that might be the best way to go. Like early access Hades 2, 1.0 Hades 2. Do it that way. But it's more Hades. Character's fucking hot again. Those artists should be making way more money than they make. I don't even know what they make, but they should be making more than that. There's still some placeholder stuff to let you know. Yeah, sorry, I had to put the glasses on real fast because somebody came into chat. Yeah, I actually fixed the problem. Okay. Yeah. So I guess I might use Sunday to do some trial runs of games, because the Fallout stuff just wasn't, like, I noticed the difference immediately when I started playing Hades 2 on stream and was like, no, I want to do this. Then when I started playing Fallout, I'm like, I don't really want to do this because the way I play Fallout might be boring to you guys, and I played through it. I know the story. I don't know if I'm entertaining enough to do 6 hours of building up a settlement to where people want to tune into that. So we'll just scrap it. Probably done with Fallout at this point, to be honest. But there are a couple games I want to try out there. You know, I have thoughts of maybe doing a full Yakuza playthrough for everyone on Sundays, or you know, maybe of Assassin's Creed stuff. I don't know. Maybe I had an idea for a game where I find games that I'm halfway through and finish them on stream, but that would be weird because you'd be way behind in the story. Just kind of spitballing things. I think next week we'll just play Hades 2, or Sunday. If you're listening to this on the podcast or YouTube, we've already done this, but we're just going to do Hades 2 and a bunch of other stuff as part of Memorial Day weekend streams. So no Fallout going forward. But yeah, I might play Hades 1, maybe. Get through a bunch of those, because I still got to get to the true ending of that. So maybe we'll do that. Who knows? But yeah, that's our Sunday thing. And then Super Mario World. I still don't know how to create a YouTube short. I've been trying for like 3 days, because we have like a 14-second video that was chef's kiss good. That was like the highs and lows of Super Mario World, where I made this ridiculous jump with the Yoshi, you know, flutter jump, and then immediately died once I landed on the platform because a bad guy came and hit me. And it's on the YouTube channel if you want to watch it. It's highlighted on our Twitch as well. I'm trying to make it a short to help mobile people on mobile, but I don't know if I have to do it on mobile, which, it's way too much work, to be honest. I'm not a guy going out there and doing shorts, or too much to, want to do it on mobile. So, but it's there. You guys can see it. It'll be I'll put it on the playlist, so you'll be able to see it. But that game's really good. I mean, I shouldn't be shocked. It is a mainline Mario game. It is a tier below in terms of skill level needed to complete it, because, as everybody knows, I am terrible at platformers. Probably has something to do with I might have some deep anxiety that I tense up worrying about missing a platform. And That's why I miss jumps, or I don't do the run, jump confidently. Um, I do get that after I learn about the level. So, it just takes some practice, but I'm getting a lot of these on like first tries and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, this game, I'd recommend it. If someone wants to be a completionist, I would, if you want to get your kid like interested in Mario, this is not a bad one to start with. Um, it's simple enough in the concepts um, that they'll be able to play this game. But it's way down on the list of games that I would have them start with. Obviously, if you want them just to start with new technology, you give them Odyssey, or Wonder. If you want to do a 2D, or you give them the original, because the problem with the difference between the original and 3 is the sense that it's not like the joking argument that I have with Anthony over Zelda 1 and Link to the Past, which I believe it's better to start people on Link to the Past and have them go back, because I think Link to the Past is a better introduction to the concepts of Zelda than the Adventures of Link is. And there's a lot less quality of life stuff in the first one. So at least in Link to the Past, you get to learn if you like the game before, because you can easily get discouraged in the Adventures of Link. Or I think that's the second one, the Adventure of Link. Jesus, Mark. For the Legend of Zelda, the original Gold cartridge game. But in Mario, there's a legitimate argument where Mario 1 and Mario 3 feel completely different and have completely different physics systems, and the jumps feel different, the runs feel different, the way enemies react is different. Levels are shorter, I think, in Mario 3. That's why there's a whole lot more of them on the same type of cartridge. Excuse me. I think 3 is easier to grasp in terms of modern gamers than 1 is. Just from that fundamental, I think the physics for 3 match better with like your Wonders and your new Super Mario Worlds, or Super Mario Worlds and stuff like that, than 1 does. And I think Super Mario World is the one that's probably the most connected to all the modern 2D. And as Tom agrees with me, 3 is much more modern than 1. And that is the only argument with that one where I, believe I am correct in that. Because, we played them all. And I think younger children will be able to grasp 3 a lot better than they would 1. And so, again, they can always go back. But, yeah. Yeah, that's why. And then Super Mario World 2 is for, if your kid loves Yoshi, I would show them Super Mario World 2 first, before anything else. But I'm having a lot of fun with it. It'll be the third Mario game from this era that I've beaten. I've never beat 1, even with all the tricks, but I have beat 3 with the warp whistles and all that, and sort of grinding out those final levels, because it's the only game I owned, one of those things back then. Because my sister was off beating Sonic. No, actually, she only got halfway through, but, it'll be this world and 3 are the pre-3D ones that I've beaten, So it'd be interesting. I want to see what the final boss is like. I mean, I've seen it like in videos and stuff, but just how it feels, because each boss feels different. It took me 2 or 3 tries to figure out the last one we just fought, because I knew the concept. Like, you had to hit the heart that was inside the enemy, but it wanted you to use the thing that I never use in the game, which is the thing where you can hold L, and it sort of makes the X go like this, instead of just free flow back and forth. So by holding that, you can get it lined up directly with the heart every time, and just because the idea was it was sort of like jelly, and you would have to hit and push back the jelly until the heart was exposed, and you hit the heart. Um, so, by being able to aim it, you you could do it a lot easier than just trying to time the up and down of the X. So, yeah, it's been fun. And finally we just finished playing Cyberpunk. That game's grabbing me a lot more than going back to Fallout did. Game looks great. The gameplay loop and the way is a lot more what I want to do on stream. I feel like I can be more entertaining with that game than I can with a Fallout. And yeah, we're just about ready to start the Arasaka mission, where we go inside Kopeki Plaza. So that'll be next week, or maybe Sunday. I might play that on Sunday again. Like I said, Sunday's up in the air. I'm not sure what we're doing. Monday as well, because it's Memorial Day, so I'm off unless I'm going to a barbecue on that day. I have plenty of time to fill with games. That I play for you guys, for the people that are also not going anywhere. But we're getting to. I think we're getting to the inflection point or whatever of that game that kicks off a big chunk of the story. I forgot how early on this mission occurs, and a certain thing happens. So yeah, and games I've been playing outside. I've been playing a lot of NHL 24 this week because the playoffs have been really good. So I just went to play through, some NHL 24. The big difference, and this is only for people to play sports games out there will get this or even care about this, to be honest. This game, while I didn't agree with a lot of the button changes in it or ways they moved how you hit people and just sort of weird things they did with the button mapping. This game is a lot closer to actually figuring out hockey at this level in terms of gameplay. Like, before, everything was about just shooting, rebounds, quick passes, one-timers, goal. Like, that's sort of how you played it. If you didn't have the quick trigger finger to do a lot of the deking, which I'm about a 2 out of 10 in being able to do that stuff to like get the puck past defenders and stuff. So I don't use it that much. I'm a little bit more of a brute force sort of thing. But this game allows you to like set up behind the net, go to the sideboards, pass to the defender, pass across, pass side, like without the defense easily, intercepting the puck. Bounce it off the boards on the power play, sort of set it up like you see on TV. And you can get goals in all different ways that just, rebounds are easier to score in some instances, and sometimes desperation saves work. I had a couple goals taken away by the goalie just today. But I'm having more fun because of that. It's a lot more of like, what the hell do I have to do to beat this goalie? More than in 23, I got it down to a thing like, all right, if I speed past this defenseman, I do the thing where he like drops his shoulders as he cuts in, and then do a little small deke, and I can get around the goalie. No problem. Like 85% of the time. If I beat the guy on the rush. Here, even if you do that, the goalies will either get you or the AI will take a penalty. Like, they're not afraid to take penalties in this. So it's a lot more of that. But yeah, having fun with that. And yeah, I think that's all I've been playing. There's a couple games I've been thinking about maybe starting up again, but I play enough as it is online, and now with Hades 2 and all that, we'll be able to play much of that stuff. I think Hades 2 will be my off-stream game. I'm going to get Paper Mario at some point. That might be like a summer, like, maybe that'll be the Saturday stream at some point. Or the Sunday stream, I should say. Because Saturday's going to be strictly JRPGs. But, yeah, that's what I've been playing. most of my long conversation on that was just God, that part in Persona 3 was... I'm so glad Jonathan was there to share it with me, because I don't think anybody would have believed me. I mean, I would have put it on video and you guys would have seen it, but, like, us both being horrified as what we were watching together made me get through it a lot better. Nothing like a Japanese game with some slight pedophilia in it. And not even like my character initiating the pedophilia. It was literally the developer saying, no, we're going to let this little bit of pedophilia happen. You can't say no. You know, she's going to ask you to marry her. You can't say no. I could have ran about that for a while. So, anyway, let's get into the news. First off, Call of Duty, Black Ops 6 is the new one coming out for 2024. This will be part of their thing they're doing in June. I want to say Direct, but that's Nintendo. God, it's almost June, isn't it? Oh, man. Gotta set that up. Yeah, they're doing this. If it comes to Game Pass, I'm getting it. I don't know if the single player will be any good or anything, but if it comes to Game Pass, I will get it to play multiplayer. As you've known, listening to this podcast in the past and watching former streams, I do enjoy multiplayer on Call of Duty. It's one of the rare games that I actually do enjoy multiplayer. I shut off voice chat. People probably cursing the shit out of me in voice chat, and I don't. It's like, la 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 la, everybody's on mute. But I enjoy it. I mean, my KD is embarrassing at like 0.6 or I think 0.75 was what I ended Modern Warfare 2 with after the advice from Jonathan. I got up to 0.75 for that. But yeah, people regularly on my team getting 2 and 3 KD. But I enjoy it. I have fun. I laugh at how terrible I am. But, you know, as you can see here, group of people vandalizing Mount Rushmore was in the ad. You know, it's going to be a dark new chapter. Fucking blobs, man. Trying to be the edgy version. But yeah, so, you know, the truth lies. God, that probably sounded great to everybody involved. Oh, God. Black Ops. Yeah, so I know my one cousin absolutely loves Black Ops, so he's probably more excited about this than I am. So, yeah. Maybe we'll see this on stream. Maybe I'll pop the multiplayer on stream at some point. Down the road. If it's on Game Pass, I'm not purchasing this game because a good bit of my money is going to go towards a bunch of other games that are coming out, including NCAA 25, which I have to save money for something coming up, and I almost twice bought the version off of Walmart, I think it was. It came with a steelbook, and in my head, I was like, Mark, you do not need this right now. You can wait and either buy it, you know, the week it comes out, or you buy it digital the day before. So I won't be spending money on this because there are way too many things coming out that I do want to play. That is not Call of Duty. Moving on to the first bit of news that I am going to rant about a little bit. So, you can read through the story and get the whole thing. Basically, IGN Entertainment acquired, Eurogamer, Rock Paper Shotgun, Video Games 24/7, what's called GameIndustry.biz, which is the one I'm really pissed at. Going under an umbrella. I think, it says GI here. I don't think that's Game Informer. Is that supposed to be GameIndustry.biz? Yeah. I think that's why did they name it GI? That's so weird. Anyway, um, so basically, since this is on IGN where I pull my stories, um, you know, very minor stuff, but obviously there were layoffs, and Brendan Sinclair got laid off. Probably one of the few people that I read consistently from over there at GameIndustry.biz. Um, man, it's just I don't know. I don't know what to say. Uh, I'm gonna take these off for a second because I'm gonna be rubbing my eyes a lot. I guess not full disclosure, just more inside baseball with me. I hold a degree in journalism from the Pennsylvania State University. Thought I was going to be a journalist. That industry was shit by the time I graduated in terms of things like this, consolidation, jobs not really there, jobs not paying well, really becoming a tighter circle than it used to be. I was taught all the traditional stuff. We didn't get taught much of the new media, which is probably the fault of my university more than anything. All the digital stuff came in my senior year, but at that point all the classes were filled up by the younger kids who wanted to learn it and we couldn't get in. Anyway, guidance counselor is not great in the college of communications at Penn State. But I see this stuff and I couldn't care less, to be honest. I love the stuff they do at Rock Paper Shotgun and Eurogamer and, Video Games 24/7. Great stuff they do over there. The one that makes me upset the most is IGN and this giant company picking up something like GameIndustry.biz, which I believe every industry needs a thing that just reports on the industry, not the games, not like the enthusiast press with reviews and previews and guides and all that stuff, but people that report on the real things going on, like what AI, what's it doing, blockchain, layoffs, what Unreal Engine 5 is doing now, what the what Unity, all that stuff, just the inside gaming stuff, which just inside the game industry, not stuff that maybe people in the industry would read more than the general public would read, but the general public should read it and understand the industry. I know they were already under an umbrella, but just getting under a super umbrella like IGN is now, just rubs me the wrong way, and it just feels like all the consolidation that's happening over in the game space. I guess it just hits a nerve with me a little bit more, being it's an industry that I loved and wanted to be in, not games journalism, but journalism in general. And I already saw how it fell apart for sports journalism and mostly news journalism as well. I got friends on all sides of it, broadcast, paper, and just the way it's gone. And just to see it happen in here, and I think it's a lot more with how news is disseminated today in terms of, in games especially. You probably have hundreds of individual people or individual groups of people out there giving people the news they want. Maybe they don't want an inside baseball website like GameIndustry.biz. Maybe they want things and the websites and stuff I mentioned, I'm not taking shots at them. But, maybe they would rather get some of their stuff from a Kind of Funny or Easy Allies or, individual streamers, that are out there doing great work in terms of game. You got your, they're not basically hard news. We got your Nextlanders, you got your Remaps, and, You got those places, but those places are so small that they can't hire all these people that are losing their jobs when consolidation like this happens. Like, sure, Brendan Sinclair, if he wants to, can just go out and make a Patreon, make a Substack, do something, and would probably get people to follow him. Even if just industry people would probably pay for his a monthly column from him, and he can do that as a side gig while doing something else. I think those people will be fine. Anybody at the top of these that has some kind of footprint, you see like a, another thing, you see like a, you see a Jeff Gerstmann and, guys like that have clout in the industry be able to go off on their own and do things. But I just feel bad for it's mainly because I was in the position coming out of college in 2008. That a lot of young people that want to get into journalism now, or games journalism, I was at with sports journalism, where everything was becoming, at least at that time, there were not as many jobs as there were people wanting to get into the industry. Now, I missed the boat in that blogs started exploding, your Bleacher Reports and all that stuff, like a couple years after, and I'd already settled into my second career at that point, and had too many bills to risk it. But if I would have been just out of college, I probably would have jumped on all that stuff, like some of my friends that stayed in the industry and did that, that graduated a couple years after. Those are the people I feel bad for. The young journalists that don't have the footprint, that don't have the following. Like, where are they going to go to learn how to do journalism if everything's going to be consolidated, less staff, do it with skeleton crews because they'll have AI do all the stuff that you would normally throw an entry-level reporter on to learn how to write, to learn how to gain a voice. Like, they're just going to give it to AI, and it's going to suck. It's going to be like it's the AI assistant on Google. It's not going to be worthy of our time. But even if you never read the stuff that was like written by IGN staff, like this is, that was just basic stuff, breaking down a press release or something. If you're going to give that to AI, you're not going to help these people get better if they want to be writers, or if they want to learn how to present a story, if like doing a 30-second video on something. The smaller the circle you get, the more likely to make money. You're going to want the people that make you the money. So it's just, it just sucks. It sucks real bad. I wish we had. It's been 3 weeks in a row that I've been on here, either sad or screaming. I wish it wasn't that way. But I hope that they don't put this down to a skeleton crew, but I don't think so. I think this is going to be like when any other venture capitalist stuff comes in. They're gonna strip it down to where it still makes enough money and profits for the shareholders, and it kind of sucks for us. But yeah. Support your independent media. As MinMax says, because those people are the ones keeping at least the hope alive of an unchecked enthusiast press, because this is like one of the final nails from the influencer culture that's going on right now. So yeah. Anyway, moving on to some more fun news. As we had predicted earlier, not predicted, but we had read a report earlier. Fortnite Chapter 5 Season 3 adds your Fallout armor, along with Nuka-Cola and Wastelander Magneto. So we had reported something like a few weeks ago that there were some leaks that there was like Fortnite, Fallout, and some other stuff coming to Fortnite. I think doing the Brotherhood of Steel skin is the correct one. The only other choice would have been to do a Vault Dweller, but then you have to choose what kind of Vault Dweller, and you'd have, starting out with the Brother of the Steel is the right decision. I think, and then, you bring some iconic stuff like, um, the Nuka-Cola and stuff. I did like how they introduced it. My niece was explaining this to me, um, that there was a sandstorm, and then the biome, as it says here. She didn't say biome, but she said then that's when the people showed up. And I get that wasteland, for Fallout and all that stuff. Yeah, it's fun. This is fun. This is, you know, the stuff you want to see going through here. But yeah, Fortnite's game I wish I had figured out a way to get into, but just wasn't able to, and yeah, it's got to be the weirdest game on the planet in terms of who has what skin running around. Like seeing a John Cena with a power armor bro and LeBron James or whatever. I don't know who's in it. Nicki Minaj. I think she's Call of Duty. But, Fallout's just weird. But, I mean, not Fallout. Well, Fallout is weird. But Fortnite. But yeah, this is confirmed from that report we had earlier in the week. Little bit sad news, but definitely something that I have seen on my own, and I think I've talked to Tom about this, or we mentioned it on the podcast before, that you can it just trying to figure out the new younger gamers. And as this scale says, a lot of them don't really want to play strategy games much anymore. Your Fire Emblems, your XCOMs, your Civilizations, probably your Age of the Empires, anything like that. They don't seem to want to do those games. They want to, they like more action and, like just basically, I wouldn't say dumb games. Like they just want, the games where it's not much in terms of needing to plan ahead, like, and the key is learning the strategies. The funny part is they get real good at Fortnite, some of these kids, and learn the strategies of when to build, where to build, how to do things, where to hide, what things to get, and all that is the same strategies you would learn playing a game like Civilization or Fire Emblem or anything where you just learn like how to set everything up to win. That he's doing the same thing in Fortnite, but Fortnite isn't a menu. And that's probably one of the main things, is that you don't click a thing in a menu to set things up like that. I adore these games. All 4 of the games mentioned in blue, if you're watching this live, are games that are probably in my top 50 of all time in terms of games I love. Yeah, in Fire Emblem, it's only 3 houses. I haven't played the others, but I'm sure that they're pretty similar in that fact. But I played the shit out of Civ 5 and 6. It's still my 3rd most played game. 6 is on my Steam account. I've beaten XCOM twice. And beaten XCOM 2. On 2 different difficulties. I played the hell out of City Skylines. City Skylines 2 I'm probably going to go back to. It was really weird at first. When it first released. I'll probably go back once they fix some things. And you have your Stellaris's, your Age of Empires, and just Annos, and all those themes that I absolutely love. But it seems like that's not holding with the younger generation here, which is fine. Yeah. Yeah, it's just, they just, as this says, 67% of gamers today care less about strategic thinking and planning when playing games. And I think, as I said, I think they're misunderstanding the people answering these questions, because the games that are popular do involve you strategically thinking and planning, but you're doing it in an active environment and not through a menu or setting up people or, you know, any of that stuff. And I think it's the menu thing that's killing everyone, not the actual strategic planning and stuff. So that's the only thing I'll say it's wrong with this study, is that the people they asked probably didn't really get that. When you play sports game, there's strategic thinking there. But since it's not a hit this button and those guys will attack, or let's build this thing here and build that here, and then you wait 2 turns for it to build, and then you do this, and you want to make sure this is ready before this is ready. You know, they're thinking that in the menu wise, not so much thinking and planning. But anyway, it just goes to show you that it is changing. Games are changing. I hope that they still put games out to entertain us here. And we'll do one more story before I get to another story that I'm going to be yelly about. Nintendo is opening a second U.S. store, this time out in San Francisco. Not surprised. I'm only surprised with the location, because if they were going to go to West Coast, unless if they moved their headquarters, I don't know why they didn't choose like Seattle. Because San Francisco and Seattle are basically the same price in terms of real estate. Same with Los Angeles. So it wasn't that, it wasn't so much the location of like, hey, this is cheaper. We put it in Denver because it's cheaper. But unless their office, Nintendo of America is now in San Francisco. I don't know if it says it there, but I could have thought Seattle would have been a better spot for it. But they're going to put it in Union Square over there. And the Nintendo store is pretty cool. I've been there twice. Got some good Zelda gear out of there. Got some Pokemon stuff for my niece. They have a couple displays. You can kind of see it if you're watching live here. This little case next to the guy here. They display like the old Nintendo stuff, like even going back to like the stuff that looks like Game & Watch and the stuff that looks like Tiger Entertainment, like back in the early 80s. And then all the evolution since then. They have like glass cases showing all that, and it's pretty cool. It's half museum, half store, if they're going to do the same thing in San Francisco. So it's a pretty cool place. So if you're out in the West Coast, you don't have to come to New York anymore. You can go to San Francisco if you want to view this. It's one of my go-tos when we used to do 2-3 days in New York for Comic-Con, is to get on over there. But, yeah. So, next story. Neil Druckmann wants to use AI in the games. And the problem I have is not so much there are things to use AI in games for. I've used AI art for Dungeons and Dragons stuff, just to make a character or to make a landscape or something. But I think what he's talking about here is the idea of NPCs like being AI generated to be different depending on who the person is. Not who the person is, like who the player is. Like have different interactions because different players ask different things. You can have actual conversations with, not actual conversations, but sort of like, you say something into a microphone, they respond based on what you ask and not some set, script that's in there. Now the AI would only know so much, and you may get repeats and things like that, or you may get I don't understands and stuff like that. If they only keep it to NPCs, fine. Awesome. Randomly generate places with AI, fine. The problem becomes is what I fear. Now, Naughty Dog might not be doing this. Neil Druckmann always talks, in grand things. He's only second to Sean Murphy in that respect, where he talks way more than he needs to on a subject. And I love Neil Druckmann. I love everything he's done with Last of Us. I love, the Uncharted stuff and what he contributed to the show. This isn't my thing on Neil. But he just... They just see a lot of these creatives, and not saying that in a negative sense, just see this new tool and go, oh, there's so much shit I can do with this. This is awesome for me to do stuff with this. Figure this out. The problem becomes when the people above Neil Druckmann in the C-suite go, oh, we can just punch this into the computer and it would do the same thing those three people that we're paying $80,000 a year would do. And it sort of does the same thing. It'll be fine. Gamers won't notice it. And now you have three developers who could be the best developers in their field, now out of a job or need to start an indie studio or something. Because their job becomes obsolete because of AI. And I'm not even saying that you can't use AI. I think there needs to be the human behind it. Because the problem becomes, if you just have unchecked AI, then there are going to be mistakes. AI doesn't understand, the best example, and this is in a different type of thing, this is in movies, that Civil War movie that came out recently used AI-generated photos for its posters and got everything wrong. They were supposed to be on the river in Chicago. It has a name. I'm just blanking on it at this point. But they had buildings in the wrong spot. They had two buildings smashed together. You could tell it was made by somebody that has never been to Chicago. They had another one where you could see that it put two of the same thing together, or things didn't look normal. Because when you ask the AI to do art, while it can do great things, you need somebody behind it going, that doesn't look right. Let's either run it again or let me get in there with the tool and sort of fix it. You can't just trust straight AI. They're finding that out in sports journalism. They use another thing from a topic before, where they're having, AI write, game stories for high school footballs and stuff. I see it on my niece with her Game Changer stuff for softball. They have game stories for every game that's just generated by the AI looking over the box score and the play-by-play, and it does a great job of sort of taking all that information, but it doesn't make sense because it doesn't really understand the emotion of the game in terms of what was important and what wasn't. All they see is this person did this at this point, so that must be important. When, no, it was this other thing that doesn't even show up on the scoreboard that should have been reported on. And you only get that with human people that are there. So when you're getting into AI in video games, and I could be talking out of my ass because I'm not this deep in technology, I just worry because I see it fail in so many other avenues. Hi, Game Ball Cat. So many other avenues that I think it's going to get to the point where you're going to have them start making the character interactions and the stories are all going to be AI generated. And it's just going to be terrible. But the companies are still going to make a profit, and the shareholders are still going to make, their money, and nobody's going to care. And it just worries me. If you want to use, a good example of where this could work, what they're talking about in terms of AI with character stuff, is in a game like a Fallout or a Starfield or a No Man's Sky or something that's big open worlds, procedurally generated, all these AI character or all these NPC characters around, not your story main NPCs, those I still want humans behind, but just general, your store clerks, your people at the bar, all of those people. If you have AI generate their personalities and all that stuff, and you can have weird conversations with them. Maybe you can talk about what you heard on the news there, and they'll have an opinion on it. Like, that could be friggin' cool. But I just get worried that it's not the slippery slope effect, because I think that's always a false narrative when people talk about it. There's not always a slippery slope. I just worry more for the greediness of the companies, thinking that this can take over for everything. And then you lose the element that makes these games great. And whether you agree with them politically or whatever, developers, the human element is what makes games great. And if I'm misconstruing what Neil's saying, completely understandable. I don't have much expertise in there, and I'll be ready to admit it. But I just get worried because I see the terribleness that AI has done. I've seen in the wrong hands, it can be really bad. And not even in a Skynet type of joke, or even, may not, be a joke thing. Like, I've seen people, do their political campaign posters of a photo of themselves somewhere, and the photo gives him, 6 fingers or 2 watches, or, the arm is a little weird, and, you just get worried that it'll just make all this stuff that's usually looked over by an artist bad. But anyway, that's my rant there. Like I said, I'm completely fine if I'm completely wrong here. Just real worried about this AI stuff. Hopefully it goes the way of Bitcoin, blockchain, NFT stuff, where people get excited for it for a while and then nothing happens. But in better news, for those of you Kingdom Hearts fans that want to be as obsessive as I am with Final Fantasy X, you can now purchase Kingdom Hearts on Steam next month. So now you can have it on as many platforms as you want. So, I'm going to be honest. If you have been waiting for Kingdom Hearts to come out on Steam to be the reason that you played Kingdom Hearts, I don't know how you did it. It's been, 22 years, Tom, since the first one? First one was 02 on PS2, right? 03, something like that? It's just going to be great, because if maybe you get people only have PCs now and got rid of their old consoles and they want the updated ones. I want to meet the person that has been like, you know what I'm getting in Kingdom Hearts? When it comes to Steam. It's like, the fuck? You could have bought a PS2 for nothing before the boom happened with all games, and probably got Kingdom Hearts pretty cheap at a GameStop, EB Games, or something. That you would have gotten through it much quicker than, waiting for this. But I don't know. I'm not making fun of people, but I just got ahead the person that's been holding out to buy these for the first time. It's waiting for Steam. But it's there if you guys want it. If you want to get rid of everything else besides Steam, you have it now. I think this is a big deal. Japan in 02, as Tom says. So, I think it's a big deal, because Square Enix has done this in the past, in terms of putting a lot of their stuff on PC, but it's usually I'm surprised they didn't just put, like, ports of the originals on here. That feels like a very Square Enix thing to do. Oh, no, I haven't been waiting for Steam. I just haven't played it. Tom. Um, that's different. I've not been sitting here saying it's Steam. Steam's the reason why I haven't played it. I mean, I could have got it multiple times throughout my life. I just want to meet that one person that was like, I will not play Kingdom Hearts on anything but Steam. I don't know if those people exist. I just had this funny thing in my head of a person that is like that. So, but I'm surprised that Square Enix didn't try to do, tried to do like the lesser versions of these first before putting out the full, updated ones, to try and make money somehow. But I guess this is easier. Here. But yeah, it comes in a bundle, June 13th. You can pick it up and play. And finally, in a fun story that would have made shockwaves 40-something years ago, Atari is buying a television. Oh my god! This would have been like Sony buying Microsoft, or Microsoft buying Sony back in the day. Yeah, so they're gonna buy the Intellivision brand. It's good thing by Atari. Good idea. But they're gonna keep the Amico, which they should, behind. Just it's good to get the IP, and you can definitely tap into the nostalgia market with this here, by having everything under one roof, and yeah, it was just a fun story. They get the rights to everything, the 200 games. Yeah, they're still doing they'll probably do some kind of retro console or something. But I just thought this was funny, funny and news to end on. Here, in terms of this. But yeah. But yeah, this would be like Microsoft buying Sony, if it happened back in the 80s. So, yeah. Or maybe Nintendo, because Nintendo would have been the market leader at this point, so it would have been like Sony buying Nintendo, or Nintendo buying Sony, or Microsoft buying Nintendo. But yeah, it's a very fun story here to leave you guys on. Yeah, so before we go, you can, we're live every Friday at 9 p.m. here if you want to join the chat, as Tom was doing today, as Jonathan has done in the past. We've had a whole bunch of people here just to chat with me. This goes up every Monday along with the podcast version, so you can still listen to it audio version only. But this also goes up on YouTube as well, including Game Vault Pat's Meows. But in terms of if you're watching this on Twitch, or if you do watch our stuff on YouTube or Twitch, just a rundown of the schedule for going forward, and this week especially if you're watching this live. But this will also help for you going back in the archives. Tomorrow, on Saturday, for Memorial Day weekend here, we're going to have all-day Persona. We're going to start at 12 noon. We're going to play about 4 hours. Then I'm going to break for dinner and to let my sister's dog out. And then we will come back at 7 and play about 4 more hours. And then I got to go let my sister's dog out again. So all-day Persona tomorrow for your Memorial Day holiday. And then Sunday, it's definitely going to be some Hades 2. Maybe some Hades 1. Maybe some other stuff we'll throw in there. Sunday's still up in the air because Sunday's most likely the day that a barbecue would occur that I might go to. So, yeah, just be aware of that. More or less depending on what happens in personal schedule here. And then Monday will be Super Mario World 2, maybe Cyberpunk, just so we can get through that one mission that we have, and maybe some Hades again. We'll just play around on Monday for the holiday here. So yeah, for those watching live, enjoy your holiday, and then as I mentioned earlier, final thing, no more Fallout. I'll decide what to do with the YouTube stuff. We'll probably keep it up there. I'll just make a note on it, like incomplete or something on the playlist, so people know. But we're going to be transitioning to a game. I'm still trying to figure it out. Maybe I'll discuss it with Tom off pod. Would be a good idea for it. But we're still going to be streaming on Sundays. So we just have a new game. Hades will be the interim game until I can figure it out. So yeah, be sure to go to our Discord, ask any questions. I've been really busy this week, so I've not been able to jump in there to see if any of you guys have had any discussions and stuff in there. I'm probably going to jump in before Persona tomorrow to pick up what anything I missed. So go to the Discord, Gameball Pod. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all social medias. Hit the bell on YouTube so you're updated for when I drop a video. We're gonna have the Extra Life stuff is gonna be coming up soon in terms of the 2 6-hour blocks of our in-person part of Extra Life. And then we're going to try and be as I know Gameball Cat. Try to be more consistent with the YouTube stuff. I think I've been pretty consistent recently, but I think I could be better. So thank you once again for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Bye.